Hello guys, I'm Fallout 4 guy and welcome to the behind the scenes video for my survival wood cabin build. Now if you haven't seen the tour of that, please go and watch that first, because this is kind of like the section where I'll take it all apart and show you what's what. So it's probably best to go and watch the tour first. If you have, then obviously I'll get on with it now. Now there's no before picture on this one. Normally I do a little before to show you what it looked like before I got to the site that I built on. So it is a Workshop Anywhere build, and I'll show you where we're at now. So just right on this little lake up the top of the map, basically near the recon bunker. So yeah, I didn't bother building a before video because, well, what's the point? There was nothing here. It literally is just a piece of grass. So there's no real need to show that. So where to start? Okay, so the trees are, so everything around this area, so nothing was here. So the trees, I've put in every tree except maybe a couple. I think like these ones I didn't put in, but yeah, all these trees I've put in. So the tree house was just a case of just balancing like planks of wood as natural as they could look, and just placing them on top of there. Like, nothing really special involved in that. It literally is just a case of using Place Anywhere mod and just trying to line things up on that. Where it does get a bit more interesting though is the electric fence. So as I put the trees in, that was kind of like my perimeter marker for the fences. Now this is dead easy to make, this fence. It is just picket fence posts and then power conduits and wires to make the actual fence looking thing. But I will stress it is a bit fiddly. Although it's easy to make, it did take me a long time just because of getting things lined up really. You're going to be, say, using Place Anywhere, and you know, lining the wires up which go invisible when you move the conduit is a bit of a pain in the ass. But yeah, and I wanted them all like looking like they were coming through the nuts of the lower part of the conduit itself. So yeah, it took a bit of messing around with that. The actual effect on it though is just the shock damage effect from CVA. There's two of those pots in there that are just on the contact points, and then the actual sparking is just the wire glitch to keep the spark going. If you don't know how to do that glitch, just check out Limmy's videos. Limmy on YouTube, he's got a few cool tutorials that shows you how to do that. It's pretty easy to do, but you probably know how to do it already, to be honest. I think it's quite a known glitch now. And then the other thing is, obviously they're all tilted. A lot of the posts, there's very few posts that are straight on here, they're all tilted. So when you do tilt things using QwaPA, it's just good practice to basically tilt everything that's going to be in that item before you go, so everything's tilted to the same angle, exactly the same angle. Otherwise, well, you're going to have a bad day really trying to do that, although if you don't do it that way. But yeah, so the wire fence, I mean, it's obviously just an optical illusion. You can walk through the wires as you know, but I think it just looked quite cool. And then the construction barriers just tilted to enough to look like it's resting on it. So yeah, the barbecue, there's probably nothing to really show about that, to be honest. It looks pretty much everything you can see is pretty much how to build it. It's not really technically advanced or anything, but it's just I wanted something cool. I wanted a barbecue, and I built a brick barbecue before I built this one, and it looked alright, but I like to have little interesting things in my builds, and it just didn't stand out to me, so I came up with this instead. And quite like the idea of having like an old car and just turning it into other things, so that's kind of where this came from. Bit like the power generator idea really. You know, I thought, well, obviously I built the truck there, it wasn't there originally, but I thought, yeah, an old truck in this location, and maybe you could use the engine. So that's kind of how I came up with the idea to disguise the power generator. And then an old, again, this is from CVA mods. I've just tilted that post and made it look like it was an old electric pylon or telephone cable or something that is used just to wire it to the house. So yeah. So actually onto the house itself. So this is the bit that I suppose there's going to be lots of things in here. Now, it did just start with 4 platforms. That's all it was, just 4 foundations, because I was going to just build like a small little house, and it just sort of grew organically over a period of about a day. I was messing around with it, But one thing I will say about this place is nothing is snapped on this place. That's probably like, I think the only thing that's snapped is the foundations. That is it. Everything else was placed sort of by hand and line of sight, because there's a lot of panels and things in here, like tons, and a lot of most of it's tilted, like, you know, the roof panels and stuff, that they're the half shack walls, look, and you know, everything is tilted on it. So it's not something I can easily say, oh yeah, just put like 4 walls down and do this, you know, like, it's kind of layered up of many different pieces. But the reason why that I think is important to do that rather than just put the walls down is just because it looks more, the textures just look more realistic. If you just put a wall that everyone's seen before, you know, you kind of don't really get a unique feel to it. If I just put that barn wall there, which is behind it, you know, yeah, it looks okay. Got the barn wall showing through that bit, but with having like lots of different layers of pieces on there, it tends to just give it a more natural look, and it just looks, I think, way more interesting to look at. So yeah, so I'll show you roughly what's involved in some of the building, but it's going to be too long to show you everything. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of tilted planks and things that just go together to make it look more interesting to the eye. The staircase is from Workshop Items. I don't know why I keep forgetting the name of that mod. Workshop Items. All my mods that I use, by the way, will be in the description if you want to check out exactly what's involved. I just used the staircase and then just put planks on top, just the wooden planks, just because I didn't like the white, really. I didn't want white stairs. The water collecting thing is made out of multiple posts. They weren't quite the right length, so that's why there's 2 of them, and then again planks tilted on its side. The pipe is from CVA. I don't know where it is, or it's down there. It's tilted on its side, that's why it's being funny. And the tap is the sink, also from no, that's either from Workshop Items or it's from the Skylines mod. I can't remember which one. But yeah, I wanted some running water from it, really. All the piping is individually put together piece by piece and tilted. That's, I think normally you get it's like on its back or something. So yeah, they're all again painstakingly tilted to line them up. And that's the same with the chimney one as well. They're multiple pieces, look. Sort of, and I think that's 2 pieces. Yeah, and again that's tilted because that's normally on its back when you get that out of CVA. It's just tilted to go straight, and then the top one is another piece as well, the actual cap of it. So yeah, so what if I just press on there? Oh yeah, that's what I was looking for. The that's just a lounge. I wanted sort of like window shutters, so I couldn't think how to make these window shutters. And I did try other methods. I was using boards and things and trying to like prop them up, but nothing looked right. And then all of a sudden, I just remembered that there was lounges that had a very similar shape, but they're just tilted on the back. But I just thought they looked cool. Obviously, they don't work. This wall's another example of just layering. Look, there was no need to put these panels in to tilt them on their side and stuff, but it just made, if you look how boring that wall looks now, and you just put a few different colours on, and it makes it just look way more interesting. And you get to see in here how many, loads of panels everywhere, panels everywhere. So the kitchen, nothing really that special. These are just different cabinets layered on top. I wanted to, that's the wall cabinet. I wanted to hide the cooker basically and make a cool little look. I don't know, that just looked to me like it should be a kitchen unit. The cabinet doors on where all your plates and things would be. That's a barbecue. That's just a fire. These are from Workshop Stations mod, I think it's called. It's quite a cool little mod, and they give you like little bits of clutter for kitchens. Pipes are from CVA. The secret floor weapon cache is that's just a boxcar door, which it's funny of you because it's tilted, so it's obviously kind of, there you go, you can just see it's normal boxcar door from here, so, and that's just tilted on its back. And then inside you've got a fridge tilted on its back and 2 hay bales. The first one is in there just for me to lie the mini nukes on their back and just line them up basically, to make sure they're all flat. And then the second one on top is just to give it the sunken look with the straw on top of it. And that's a bookshelf tilted on its back. And then the bullets and the ammo boxes, they're placed with OCD, but it's just an illusion. There's not that many in there. Look, so the top level just makes it look like they're stacked up, tons and tons of them, but really it's just an illusion. So it saves on your frame rate really, and having to put more objects than you need. The bathroom and shower area, that's an outhouse. So I always kind of make my toilets like this. We've got a sink there. The piping is just to make it look like it's been filled up with water, but yeah, sink. Another pipe from CVA, I think. Oil lamp just tilted slightly there to make it look like it's at the top of the toilet. That's important to do things like that to make it look so natural. And the lighting as well, look, it's the construction light. Just tilted on its back just to give a nice little down lighting effect. So the armory door is another boxcar door. No need to tilt that one. And a lot of these are from that workshop mod. I really love that voice. It's one of my favourite things about the mod. Workshop clutter, that's it. Another lounger there, look on the window. Very effective. I think I wish I could shut them down, but I think they look like just perfect. Obviously the legs stick, that's the only problem, but I've just kind of tried to incorporate them as shelves. If you look, I don't know if you saw on the one downstairs, I've just put shelves on top of them, and I've used the boat just to look like it's a kind of a mount for that, really, just so you don't notice it too much that the legs are sticking through the wall. I did have a wall built over the top of it as well, but it made the place look too thick and didn't have much room inside. So now the Harpoon gun, which I really did like. I have built another version of this. It was on in my Atom Cat's garage build. It was on top of my war rig, I think. Yeah, it was on the war rig, yeah. But I don't think hardly anybody ever saw it, so I kind of did another version. This is a better version of it though, basically. So there's that is from the same Workbench clutter mod. I think it's just a mat that they use to click the workbench with. I just like the fact it looked like a metal plate. That's from CVA. That is also from CVA. It's in the pipe section as well. And then this is just a normal gun, and that is a normal melee weapon, the hook. I've just kind of lined them into each other. If you're wondering how to do that, basically you just drop it from your inventory, go into workshop mode, place it in workshop mode anyway, just pick it up and put it down again, and then once you do that, if you come out of workshop mode, you can then make it static. So you make it static to the angle that you want it to be. So obviously that was the angle I wanted, set it as static, then go back into workshop mode. And if you use the place anywhere post, the QwaPA one, you can then pick it up and you can then use it. Now it's stuck on that axis, look, you can't ever alter it, so it's quite important that you get it on the angle you want, and the same goes for the other item. And then you just use the place anywhere to merge them in. Very simple, but quite a handy little thing. I used to put them on rugs and things, but I don't need to do that anymore. The ceiling fans are just the capsule wall tilted on its back. Same as the one in the kitchen as well. The curtain rail is just conduits. I think 2 of them. Yeah. Just made a nice curve just to be able to kind of shut this place off, really. The grass coming through the floor, that's because I'm using a mod called Simple Seasons, and it adds extra grass, which is why everything's a green and long grass out here. It's already brown around here normally, it looked like shit. But the only problem is it gives you this longer grass. Now I'd already built everywhere before the grass was coming through, and you can't group select a lot of this stuff, especially because it's tilted. It all goes out of line, so I had to kind of deal with it. So that's why I built the outhouse toilet there, to be honest. That was the reason why I did it. For probably most of the build, this building had no back on it. I just was kind of like building it and wasn't really sure where I wanted to go with it, so I just left it, and by the time I'd got to the point where I wanted to put a back on it, I was like, shit, there's all grass coming through. So I kind of built this outhouse, and I made it purposely look like it's got gaps, and it was just like really ramshackly put together just to explain why there's grass sort of growing through the floor. And it's kind of just, that's why I used the boards there as well, look, instead of this floorboard, just to kind of explain why it's sort of kind of growing through it. And the same as why I put this here too, because again, nothing was here. So I thought, well, if I put like a greenhouse in, there's like, there's going to be plants and things, so that's why I built this area. But yeah, it's kind of a byproduct of the grass coming through, but kind of looks interesting at least. But yeah, that's it. The table's just a plywood top on a cafe table, I think. Yeah. And then the plywood on the floor, again, it's just designed to make the floor look a bit more interesting. So I really hate this shack foundation flooring. I like the poles that it stands on, but I hate the floorboards. They look like crap, especially when they're all just repeated. So yeah, the boards just kind of break the floor up and make it look a bit more interesting. And of course, the fact that the sofa's meant to be sat on top of something as well, rather than just so when the floor opens up, I don't want it to look like the sofa's just floating. So that's about it, and I'll just show you the roof. So the roof is well, more complicated than it looks. I think it's warehouse roofs. Let me get a bit closer. There's multiple warehouse roofs because I wanted an overhang, and then there's the normal shack roof, and then these. What are these from? I forget what mod these are from. Sorry. I don't think it's USO, but anyway, it's slightly tilted on its side. It's meant to be straight. They're like just canopies over buildings. But yeah, I just wanted it to look like it's got a rundown basically. And what I find with doing a roof like this, rather than again just doing the normal roof, it just looks a bit more realistic and natural. It's like I don't know, the standard roofs, they're okay and everything, but I think because I've seen them so many times. That is another shack wall piece tilted on top of another one of those canopies, just to give it the support underneath it. I just wanted those supports. That's the only reason I put that there. Just those corner pieces. Yeah, you see there's a lot of layers in this. It's too much to really kind of show exactly, but you get the idea that it's all about texturing. That's the whole point of it. It's just a texture. The walls, you see there's lots of little different changes then in the look of how the wall looks. It's not just a straight up wall. Whoa, that's weird. When you tilt things, look, and things attached to it. That's bizarre. And then these are just bridges. So yeah, so I think that is pretty much most of it covered. If there's any questions, obviously feel free to ask in the comments. I don't like to be too patronising to show you like every little thing, because I'm pretty sure most people is watching this, and if you're going to attempt to sort of recreate anything like this, then you know you're going to have a bit of experience in building, just because of the different techniques involved. So I'm pretty sure I don't need to tell you every single detail, but you can see roughly what's gone into it, and the reasons why certain things are done. That, you know, so like the texturing, for example, is really important to making it look realistic. So if you apply that to your builds, you have a much more interesting looking build anyway, at least. So yeah, I was kind of gutted this has finished, this build, because I really did enjoy building this one, and it's I've not built from scratch for a while now. I do a lot of refurbs and sort of reconstructions of older buildings, and you know they're normally pre-existing, only because I feel like if I was in this real situation, I tend to find it would be easier to sort of fix up a building that was already existing than build your own from scratch. And I've tended to get stuck in that kind of mindset where I've not really built my own structure for a while. So it'd be nice to just sort of have a little blank canvas, literally a piece of land, and just build. And I've had a lot of fun, so I might be doing some more of these soon, but who knows. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and if there's anything to say I've missed out that you're unsure of, just please just drop me a comment and I'll answer. I do try and reply to everyone that asks me questions. So, but yeah, other than that, then I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.